So we've clarified our values in that last exercise. And what we found today here in the audience is that the three most popular values that we have identified for us as a collective group are family, faith, and our health. We know that these values are important to us, right? Are they important to us?
Yes.
Of course they're important to us. Let me ask you this. How many times have you compromised those top three values in your life? We say it, but do we practice it? Do we draw borders around it? Do we reflect on it on a constant basis to make sure that, yeah, every once in a while we're going to stray from those values, but we can come back to center and make sure that we are focusing on what's really important in our lives? Now, if you don't know how to do that, I want to share a story with you that will really just exemplify this. And the greatest wisdom comes not from books and academics, it comes from children. And my son, Alessio, 2-year-old, he's 2 years old. And like a lot of children, just owns the household, right? Like, I have no control. Him and his friends, and they do whatever they want. Now, he's 2 years old, so his friends consist of stuffed animals. They're legit, and they're an actual presence in our household. Now, let me talk about the trio that he surrounds himself with, right? His right-hand man is a brown, floppy, just really lovable brown bear that he calls Bear. And next to Bear is a very plush, very lovely panda bear that he calls Panda. And rounding out the triad is this butterscotch and white, very large puppy that he calls, anyone want to guess? No, he calls him Hurley. I don't know what logic my son has to naming his animals. But they are a great community. He loves those animals, and they actually have a shared value system, right? They're all about fun and community. And if I walk around Alessio's room at any given time, I can hear him playing with these animals and interacting and having these great adventures. And then one day, out of nowhere, another character enters the fray. Ladies and gentlemen, enter the yak. Now, yak's unique for two reasons. Number one, he's imaginary. And number two, when you think yak, you think like a big, smelly beast. Well, yak was tiny. He could fit in the palm of Alessio's hand. And yak was the number one man right away. I don't know why, but all of a sudden, everything became about Alessio and yak. I would go downstairs to eat dinner, and Alessio would be like, "No, Daddy, that's yak's chair." So I had dinner on the floor that night. And then, over a 2-week period, I started to hear the conversation shift in the room. I would hear, "No, yak, don't bite Bear, that's not nice. No, yak, that's Hurley's Pop-Tart, give it back." And then 2 weeks later, I didn't hear about yak at all. I got curious. Said, "Alessio, what happened to yak?" "Oh, Daddy, yak no good. I tell him go bye-bye." And just like that, the yak was gone, never to be seen again. When we talk about work-life balance, or even just achieving a goal, we will encounter yaks in our lives. We will encounter forces that come in and attack our value system constantly. And if you don't know what to do, follow my son's example. You see, yak came in, and at first it was accepted, and at first things went really, really well. But he started to impede on the two principles, the two values him and his group had the most, right? Fun and community. But my son didn't just kick him out at first, he addressed the problem. It didn't get better, and he made a decision to improve his life. I don't know why my son's imaginary best friend turned out to be a jerk. But I do know that he will defend his value system. Work life is a practice. It is a value system. And if those stand in the way of it, need to go. For some of you might say, "Hey, Paul, I can't get rid of all the people in my life." And I understand that. Instead of that, I say, if you can't say goodbye, say hello just a little less. I know you think it's tough. I know you think it's difficult. And at first, it can seem that way. But it's actually quite simple. It's so simple that a 2-year-old can do it.